want to normalize the grief we feel when a celebrity dies. A whole different agenda for today's post, but when I learned that Malcolm-Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable from the Cosby Show died, I felt some kind of way. And to be completely honest, as I was reflecting, there have been a few celebrities that have died that I felt some kind of way about. Grieving the death of a celebrity or someone with a big presence on social media can feel like a real loss. And I don't want anyone to feel ashamed about that. I'm an 80s baby. The Cosby Show was a huge part of my childhood. It wasn't just a show, it felt like family. I looked forward to those episodes every week. And Theo, he was my childhood crush. And I remember watching him grow up on screen. And when the Cosby Show ended, which I remember vividly, I didn't keep up with him afterward, but the memories of the show and his character are still with me. But beyond that, I'm just a very empathetic person by nature, so I feel deeply. And learning of the circumstances around his death, the fact that he was 54 and that he leaves behind a wife and a young daughter and so many people who loved him, it just made my heart ache. Outside of hurt, my next response was utter shock. I've talked to a few people who've shared the same reaction. They said, man, it just hit me. Like I was like, what? And I know many of you can relate. It's just like, what do you mean? So what is this grief we're feeling and what do we do with it and why do we feel it? There isn't a universally accepted term for this type of grief, but it is grief. And you might be feeling sad, angry, confused, anxious, reflective about your own mortality, scared, numb, and again, shocked. So why might you be feeling these emotions? Like me, maybe you grew up watching The Cosby Show, or you watched it at some point and felt a real connection to Theo. Maybe there are life lessons that you learned from his character or a favorite episode that just sticks with you. Maybe you admired or respected the life he lived off screen. Maybe he's around the same age as you, or something about him resonates with your own life, making you reflect on your own mortality. Maybe it's the circumstances around his death that kind of hit home because you know someone else who died in a similar manner. Maybe his family dynamics with a wife and a young daughter feel very similar to your own. Regardless of the reason, these feelings are real and your grief is valid. Here's the thing. These emotional connections we form with celebrities are real. It's not just about watching TV. It's about how they become a part of our lives, whether it's through a character on screen, lyrics in a song, or the art they create. Celebrities touch us in ways that go beyond entertainment oftentimes, and they can feel like familiar strangers. We see them over and over and over and over again, sometimes for years, and they become a part of our memories, our routines, and sometimes even our emotional worlds. So when they die, it feels like losing someone you've known for a long time, even if you've never met them. So now what? What do you do with all that grief? Well, you can chime in on social media tributes. You can participate in collective communal acts of grieving, like creating a memorial or attending one. You can host the Cosby Show watch party. You can share photos or stories if you've ever met him in person or had the chance to connect with him in person. I've seen a lot of that. You can rewatch your favorite episodes, journal about your thoughts and feelings, or just call someone and be like, hey, I'm feeling some kind of way about this. How are you feeling? When I found out, I immediately reposted the news on my social media, read through comments to see what others were saying, and did a little bit of light research just to learn more about the circumstances around what happened. I also checked in with a couple of my friends, and that's typically how I process when I hear about a celebrity death that I feel connected to. And to pay my respects to Mr. Jamal, I plan to watch a few of my favorite episodes. In today's world, we don't have to grieve in isolation anymore when it comes to celebrities. We get to grieve together in real time through social media tributes, public memorials, and other ways. And I believe there's real comfort in knowing that. So here's what I want to leave with you. If you ever find yourself grieving over the death of a celebrity, it's completely normal. Your feelings are valid. Take time to process them and reflect on why you feel the way that you do. If you've been touched by Jamal's sudden death and want to share your personal thoughts, feelings, or favorite Cosby Show episode, please feel free to do so in the comments. We can honor his legacy together by sharing our memories and reflections. To his family, friends, and loved ones, and everyone touched by his life, my thoughts and prayers are with you. I'm sending healing and comforting thoughts to you all. Take care of yourselves, honor your feelings, and remember, it's okay to grieve whoever meant something to you, no matter how big or small that connection might have seemed. See you soon.